Chapter 11. Prohibition. Find any pleasant spot along this path to hear about the part this creekway played in the bootlegging trade that once thrived here. The Prohibition years officially began in January of 1920, when the 18th Amendment banning alcohol nationwide went into effect. Here's a picture of sheriff's deputies dumping illegal beer and liquor in front of the city courthouse. The creek you are looking at now runs the entire length of the city underneath the city streets for several blocks. Many of the shops and eateries on Monterey and Higuera streets have basements that once had access to the creek. In those days, the creek may have facilitated transferring goods. Why not booze? California was notorious for its weak enforcement of the Prohibition laws. Bootleg liquor, when it wasn't made in illegal stills, came mostly from Vancouver, arriving by ship at our local ports in Avila, Cayucas, and San Simeon. Here's a photo of a homemade still from this era. Our small and isolated community made San Luis Obispo an ideal place for transporting illegal alcohol. Speakeasies were located in basements, apartments, back rooms, and often had fronts such as coffee houses, drugstores, barbershops, and soda fountains. In 1933, the bootlegging era ended with the repeal of the 18th Amendment. Headlines from the Tribune happily announced the coming arrival of beer in March of 1933. For 13 years, however, Canadian whiskey and gin, as well as imported wine and beer, made their way into these rooms in generous amounts, and some say the creek was used after dark to get it there. We'll leave the darker side of San Luis Obispo right here, and let the water carry away the sordid secrets, assorted scandals, and shameful behaviors of the past in its silent meanderings. If you're still facing the creek, turn to your right and look for the wooden stairs at the end of the creek's pathway. Take those up to the sidewalk above on Broad Street. Turn to the right and pass the Museum of Art on your way to the stop sign. Turn right again and see the History Center just ahead where we started. We'll invite you to come in and browse the current exhibit, where there's always a different glimpse of the past to enjoy. Other walking tours of the city include historic downtown and the Railroad District, where history, culture, and colorful characters provide a rich and multidimensional look at the past that shapes our present.
You know my heart is true, and you say you for me care. Somebody's sure to tell, but what the heck do we care? They say that bears have love affairs, and even camels